What's up, Cancer? How are you doing? We're going to do your reading. For those of you that don't know, I intuitively read cards. We're using archetypes. The archetype deck by Caroline Myss. You could be intuitive yourself. You could be interested in healing or working with your inner child, interested in helping humanity, you know, interested in receiving like your judgment or like receiving judgment so you can know where you're at and where you need to go henceforward. So if this message found you, it was meant to find you. Not very many people are going to find my videos. So if you do happen to find my video, consider yourself to be lucky. Maybe. If we vibe together. So let's get into it. Cancer, how are you doing? You can have Cancer anywhere in your chart. I'm going to pull 12 cards so you can literally look into your birth chart and see what house Cancer falls into. And I'm going to pull 12 cards. It's going to be a general message, so it's going to resonate for everyone. But you can look in your natal birth chart and you can choose one of these archetypes, and then you can go back to all of the past videos I've done with the archetype deck, and you can get the card that's in each of your zodiac sign, or you can just go and buy the deck and do the reading yourself. And they're only like $25 on Amazon. It's the archetype decks by Caroline Myss. She also has a book that she wrote using her entire... I've read the book many times over. Now we have the Scribe. Preserving knowledge and information. It's the first card that came out was the Scribe. I like Caroline Myss. I believe she's a Sagittarius. She kind of reminds me of Judge Judy a little bit, but she's very interesting. She's a great storyteller. She's a great storyteller. She's a great writer. She just has like that. I don't know. She's just likable. She's smart. She's not like a pushover, right? She's stern. She's firm. She's to the point. She's not just like, she doesn't fall over with her fucking legs in the air type of energy. Not literally, but like figuratively. You know what I'm saying? She's stern. She will tell you how it is. She'll tell you what you need to know, not what you want to know. But she also has a lot of really good stories and a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom that she has obtained through her life. She works a lot with archetypes. She also has a really good book about grace and how to live in grace. I haven't read that book, but I have listened to her talk about it. She also has a YouTube channel. I don't mind plugging her. Yeah. The second house for Cancer. So if you have Cancer in your second house, meaning that you're a Gemini rising, you are being pulled as the Midas or the Miser, which it's the entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything into gold, delight in sharing in life's riches. Shadow attribute is hoarding money and emotions, obsessive fear over losing your wealth. The shadow attribute for the Scribe is altering facts or plagiarizing others' works. All right, for Cancer. Cancer is the natural ruler of the fourth house, so it rules the IC. If you notice, like, then the MC, so the, like, if you were to be off of the IC, like, it would be the MC, right? Or the DC. And you notice how, like, in all music videos, they write, like, in parentheses, off, if off, IC all. Official video, official music video. Just the way they do that. I don't know, I noticed that the other day. If you have Cancer in the third house, you are coming through as the Messiah. So you could be really interested in like preserving knowledge about like the end times, or like really into like the judo, Christianic type of timeline, right? You could be raised with that kind of culture. It's really interesting here because you see an Asian woman in this picture. So I just think that like the light attribute here, it says serving humanity with humility. And the shadow attribute is exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. So I like the light attribute. It did come out in reverse. So that might be something that you'll learn, right? There's a time where it is important for you to feel like you are the key to things, but you also need to realize that everybody has a key in their natal chart. We all have a Chiron somewhere. Maybe you have your Chiron in Cancer. See, what about the 4th house? Cancer in the 4th house. So if you were a Taurus rising, that would put Cancer in your 3rd house. So now we're going, so if you're an Aries rising and you have Cancer in your 4th house, so we're at like 4th house, we have the Visionary in reverse. The shadow attribute is selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. She actually writes something really cool in the book about the Messiah archetype, or the Messiah complex is what some people would call it. I believe that, I believe Charles Manson and, what was that really creepy dude's name? Jeffrey Dahmer. I believe that they had a shadow Messiah complex, really bad Messiah complex. You see it a lot in serial killers, or like people that go a little like wacky or a little crazy. Or people that just have really big egos, really big senses of self, that think that they're the only means that something can succeed. You see that a lot. I'm not saying that from like judging anyone, because I myself struggle with that still. And that complex. I have a Cancer moon in my 5th house. So I'm a Pisces rising. We pulled the rescuer, the engineer, the beggar, the damsel in reverse, and the rebel in reverse. I'm not taking any of those. Bottom of the deck, we have queen. Father. Yeah, my father, my biological father, as well as my stepfather, both had Ardra moon. Or not Ardra, but a Sirius moon. So like Sirius moon is very common in my bloodline. It's like something that we've all been, that just like it's passed down through my bloodline. We all have Cancer moons. My dad was born on the honeymoon. My dad is a honeymoon baby, meaning that you have like you're in the same sun cycle as when the moon, it has a new moon in Cancer, right? And the full moon in Capricorn. I believe that's the honeymoon, or is it the other way around? I believe that's the honeymoon. When you have the new moon in Cancer, when the sun is in Cancer, and then the full moon goes into Capricorn. But he's born really close to like a new moon, right? We have the Judge in reverse. Offering only destructive criticism, misusing business, legal, and criminal authority. Light attributes is balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. Managing the fair distribution of power. Just to keep it how it was, so we know. All right, let's see. What about Cancer in the 6th house? So if you're an Aquarius rising and you have Cancer in your 6th house, we have the Shapeshifter in reverse. And the shadow attribute for that is projecting any image that serves your personal agenda at the moment. Light attributes is skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see the potential in everything. A lot of like really tan colors. We have a green color, we have a yellow color, we have a like a sage color, and the rest of it's pretty brown. So I really like that. I feel like you're pretty grounded right now, Cancer. I feel like you're pretty like connected to the earth element. I don't feel like you're really like drifting off in space right now. You're pretty like, I don't want to say muted, but like you're pretty like, neutral. You're staying pretty neutral in a situation. I do feel like you have your opinion, but I feel like you keep your opinions kind of to yourself because you know that it's not really, like, your opinion's not going to change anything. What is your opinion going to change? And if you truly believe that your opinion is going to change something, then you should go and speak your mind about whatever you need to speak your mind about and see if maybe it will, right? I mean, I don't want to say that your voice isn't strong enough to change something, but I am saying that it's possible. Let's see. For Cancer in the 7th house, so if you have a Capricorn rising, this would put your descendant as Cancer. So your, you know, the cardinal signs are going to be important here. 7th house. We have the Mentor in reverse. Shadow attribute is inability to allow the student to move on to the role of master, imparting false instruction. Light attribute is passing on wisdom and refining a student's character. Mentor in reverse. All right, and then what about the 8th house? For those of you that don't know, the 7th house deals with marriage, long-term friendships, contracts, commitments. It's also like the place of justice. It's your opposite, right? It's your opposite. You like, if we're starting in Cancer, the opposite of Cancer. So it's like a teeter-totter, right? And each of these are going to be teeter-tottering with each other because we're going to be balancing the energies out. So opposite to your 2nd house, if you're a Cancer rising, if you have Cancer in the 1st house, would be Leo. Opposite to Leo is Aquarius. Okay, so wait, but we're looking at Sagittarius because we're doing each, this is all for Cancer. Each of these cards are for Cancer, but we all have Cancer somewhere in our chart. I forgot that's how we're doing it. Okay. Is this making sense? I feel very stern in this I feel like very stern. I feel very like no nonsense, no business, no like nothing. I'm not in the mood for, I just don't feel like I'm in the mood for like any dumb shit. I just feel kind of like serious right now. I just feel kind of serious. I just don't really feel, I don't know. It's not that I'm annoyed. I just feel like not stern either. I just feel serious. Alright, so we have Sagittarius. If you're a Sagittarius rising, this would put Cancer in your 8th house of occult knowledge, karma. Infinity is the 8, but 8 can also be seen as like a halo or like a means of getting money, a means of getting other people's money. This can be occult knowledge. This can be secret things. This can be things that are kept, that are not known to the majority of people, right? So the meaning behind this card could be kind of occult. So if you're, okay, we have the Poet. It says expresses soul insights in symbolic language. The shadow attribute is turns a lyric gift to a negative or destructive effect. All right. And what about for the 9th house? So this is going to be for Scorpio. So this is in the water trine. So the water trine, we have Pisces, which would have been the 5th, right? So Pisces rising puts Cancer in your 5th house. Now we're looking at Cancer being in your 9th house. So we have that that 1, 5, and 9. That's like the fire trine, right? So we think of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. It's the 1st, the 5th, and the 9th house. So those are important things to remember. The fire trine is going to deal a lot with like the self. It's also kind of like fun houses. It can also deal a lot with learning. And expression and passion and things like that. But the 9th, Cancer on the 9th, yeah, so let's, you know, bear with me here. We have Slave in reverse. Giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices devoured it. Okay. We have a slave in reverse. We also have it clarifying this Messiah in reverse. So someone is pulling way too hard in this, on this axis here. We're going to look closer at it in a second. What about here for the next sign? And the next sign would be Libra. And this is going to be for your 10th house. So if you're a Libra rising, this puts Cancer in your 10th house. Am I doing this weird? I feel like I'm doing something weird. I don't normally do it like this. Anyways, okay, so you're trying something different or something. We have the Child Divine. Innocence, purity, redemption suggests a special connection with the divine. Suggests a special connection with the divine. Meaning this person isn't... They're connected to some sort of divinity within themselves, but they're not outwardly super expressive about it. It just is what it is. People recognize it, right? This visionary, you see how it's like this orb is outside of them? When it's like this child is the orb. This child is that source that you would connect to. A lot of people might not even realize it. Like this could be like a kind of child that, or maybe this is something that you do for work, because it is your 10th house, which is your reputation. So something about your reputation, maybe you had like a prominent childhood sort of like reputation. Maybe you were well known as a child, or maybe there was something about you that was just well known as a child. That's a great way to put it. But there was something special about you. People saw that, whether they were accepting of it, whether they were kind about it, whether they took advantage of it, we don't know. Because we're not going to get that deep into it. Only you know that, because nobody knows a story better than a motherfucker that wasn't there. And let me tell you something, I definitely wasn't there. You know, I have a hard time remembering my own childhood, let alone yours. So, you know, I'm going to have you be the judge of that. But let's go here to the next one. Looking at the 11th house. So this is going to be Virgo. This is Virgo. So if you have Virgo rising, this puts Cancer in your 11th. And here we have the Queen. Radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. Shadow attribute is becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, and controlling and demanding. All right. And so what about Leo? So Leo is going to be Cancers. If you have a Leo rising, Cancer is in your 12th house. The 12th house is a very important house. We'll get into that in a second. Okay, what about this 12th house for Leo? We have the Servant. Delight in serving others with free and loving heart, and using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. Okay, so the first thing that we want to realize here, Cancer, okay, so in astrology, I just came to this conclusion today. There's two ways that you can go about reading your houses. Okay, you can read it how they tell you to read it, as 1, 2. Or you can start with 12, which is 1, 2, because 12 is 1, 2. And then you can go break down that 1, 2 with the first house, the second house, and so on. You can start with the 11th house. And you can go 1, 1, meaning me, meaning I. You can go, the 12 is I, core values. This is I. So the 11th house and the 12th house is going to very, very strongly be maybe like the exalted or the underlying, the more grounded energy, the more pure energy of the 12th and the 11th house. I don't believe that makes any sense. I don't see my community as my 11th house at all. It doesn't make any sense to me. Whenever I try and connect to that, it doesn't make any sense. When I read my own personal birth chart, I see my 11th house because I have Uranus in my 11th house. Wait, do I have Uranus? No, I have Neptune in my 11th house. At the top of my Grand Cardinal Cross. I have Uranus in my 12th house. And I'm not a genius, right? I didn't go to very much school, but I have a very innovative mind that works in a slightly genius kind of way, that I can put things together that don't necessarily really have never been done before, but make more sense than the way that they had ever been done before. Okay, so there's two ways you can do this, right? You can read it like this, maybe if you're looking at a timeline, that would be a good way to do it. You can start with the 12th house first, and you can look at what are you grounded in reality, because the 12th house is your feet, right? You can start from the feet and you can work from the head up like you do when you're meditating. You can start with your shins. You can start with the 11th house, meaning me. I could start with the queen and I could go this way and I could stop and I could come back around to my feet, and the servant would be the end of it. And I think that that's something really interesting to think about, just with these archetypes that we have coming out here. If we were to look at the 11th house first, 1-1, and then when you get to the 10th house, right? Or you can even do it this way. You can start with your second house, right? We think of 21 Savage, right? 2-1, 1-2, 1-1, 1-0. And then everything after this house could be symbolic of things that aren't really to do with you. We think we have the 10th house is your reputation. And then we go here to gurus. This can also be seen as the father or the in-laws if you get married. Your 8th house is sex, is like who you have sex with, how you have sex, things you find to be really sexy. It's your genitals, right? It's like it's your fucking dick. I don't know. It's like, what makes your dick hard? Like what are you like in bed? What are you like in a situation when not very many people would get to see you, right? We have a poet. So you could be somebody poetic. You could be somebody that's interested in hearing something from the depths of someone's soul. Maybe that's what gets you there. Maybe that's what makes you open up, because you have to kind of open up to get into the 8th house. You don't just get into the 8th house. And a lot of times that takes time, which is committed relationships with the 7th house. So we get to the 6th house, talk about health, but it can also talk about your daily routine, the things you do in your daily life. It's also the house of service, is how do you help other people? And then we have the 5th house, which is like who you date, how you have fun. It can also be seen as the father, because it's the natural house of Leo, the 5th house. It also can be seen as like the actual knowledge you gain from school, what you were able to gain from going to school, not university. University is more so the 9th house. And then we get here to the 4th house. The 4th house is a lot about the mother and the way that you were taken care of by your mother, the way that your home was, the way you received love from your mother, or, you know, your home life as a kid. It doesn't have to be your mother. And then your 3rd house is going to be your siblings, and your siblings are the closest to the things that create your core influences, because the 3rd house is really like the best reflection of you, right? It's like a close reflection. It's like the people that you surround yourself with, the people that really helped mold you on a really close level. A lot of times we're really close with our siblings in ways that we're not necessarily so close like our parents are, right? Our parents come right next to that. And then our health. And then here we go to the core values. This is when you start to get like, what do you feel that you're capable of? What do you put in your mouth? What comes out of your mouth? What do you create with all of the knowledge that you've learned here? And then your final card would be like the 1st house. And we have somebody that likes to preserve knowledge and information. Maybe somebody that's a little bit of an intuitive thinker. On the bottom of the deck, we have Father. So that's my own personal interpretation of it as I work through the energy. That's what I feel. I've gone through these house systems and the reading of the cards and looking at birth charts and looking at my own chart over and over and over again, trying to understand it. Not necessarily, I haven't taken any like professional classes on astrology. I have watched a lot of astrology channels, a lot of astrology updates and things like that. I'm very interested in astrology. I find it to be very fascinating, but I don't necessarily always agree with the way that they do it. It just doesn't always resonate for me like that. Necessarily like the order in which they read it in. It's going to be different for everyone. Just like all signs aside, right? We think of house, right? If we look at the H, capital H is the ladder, right? That's a rung on Jacob's ladder, is a capital H. And O could be seen as almost like a portal, right? And then anything that comes after this O is going to be what we're going to be putting on the ladder. And we think HOUSE. So we have the portal O and it says use. So use the ladder. Go up the ladder. Go down the ladder. Which direction are you trying to go on the ladder? Are you trying to go up or are you trying to go down? It's entirely up to you. And this will be a really good interpretation of how you can ascend or descend on that ladder energetically where you're trying to go. I think that's all. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got. So, Cancer, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys liked this reading. My name's Madeline. You guys can subscribe to the channel, watch some more of my content if you want to. We kind of do whatever. Sometimes we have fun. Sometimes we Google. Oh, that too. Let me pull you a tarot card. I just want to pull one tarot card. Because I feel like with the tarot, really less is more. It's hard to talk about one tarot card for a long time, though, so I like this archetype thing. It makes more sense when I'm explaining it, as opposed to pulling 12 tarot cards, because tarot is kind of, like, complicated, and it gets really messy when it's manifesting, so it's like, if I pull one tarot card, I know for sure you're going to see the results of it, whether you stayed for that part or not. Just if you clicked on the video, even if you just saw the video, right? It's like this one tarot card is going to be the energy that you're going to face next. So get ready. We have death reversed in the 10 of coins, but I'm just going to pull the death in reversed. So I'm just going to pull one. We also have the Princess of Coins and the 10 of Coins. But death talks about a complete and total transformation of the way you see something, the way you do something. Reverse could talk about not necessarily my death, but it's more so like your death, right? It's me killing you. I'm killing you. You're transforming. You're never going to see anything the same again, especially if you're a student of astrology. You're never going to see it the same again. The 4 of Coins, stability, Sun in Capricorn. Which was the Child Divine card, which I think was my favorite card that we got out of all of them. It says, innocence, purity, redemption suggests a special connection with the divine. That's you. You're the divine. Don't ever think that. Don't lock yourself away. Allow yourself to go out. Feel free to do what you need to do. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing weird about you. Be weird. Be wacky. If you're starting to feel like you're a little bit too normal, that's fine too. Okay, that's all I got for you. Thank you so much, Cancer. I hope to see you guys again on the next video, and we will talk about it then.